Hey, Big D. Beat up another 10-year-old.
This one deserved it.
Yeah.
5 against 1. Very brave.
Well, you're one to talk. Moaning in your sleep every night. At least I'm not afraid of my pillow. Don't kill Cedric. Who's Cedric? Your boyfriend?
Shut up.
He's going to kill me, Mum! Where is your mum? Where is your mum, Potter? Is she dead? Is she dead? Is she a dead Potter?
Hello and welcome to Harry Potter, the official film podcast, where we deep dive into each of the films one by one. I'm Rhianna Dhillon, lifelong Harry Potter superfan, film critic, broadcaster, and don't call me Nymphadora, because that's not my name. On this show, we'll revisit each film with a quick recap, not that we could ever forget, and then we'll dive deeper, discussing our hottest takes, calling out the tiniest details, and digging into the behind-the-scenes magic that made this series so very special. And you can watch every Harry Potter film along with us on HBO Max. Today, we're diving into the first half of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Here with me to share her love of all things Harry Potter is frontwoman of the rock band Against the Current and the voice behind gaming anthems such as Legends Never Die and Phoenix. It's Chrissy Costanza. Hi, Chrissy.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited to talk to you. Also, you have come with an amazing sort of Death Eater costume.
I'm really going for my Bellatrix vibe today.
It's gorgeous. Like really like deep purples. You're giving real like Slytherin vibes.
Thank you.
But apparently I'm a Slytherin.
Well, I'm kind of a Slytherin. I did try I'm a Slytherin rising.
This is such a great term.
But I am definitely a Gryffindor. I really tried to be Slytherin for a while. I had Narcissa hair for a while, like full bleached underneath, which was, I peaked then. It's been all downhill from then. But yeah,
cool, though.
Yeah, Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. What about your Patronus?
So I did the Patronus experience last night, again, because I haven't done it in a while and I couldn't remember exactly what it was. And I got the Osicat. And what was really fun about it is that the description that it gives you is that it kind of supervises you. It's always like watching over and like supervising. And that blew my mind because I have a cat named Obi and I always call him the supervisor.
Oh, that's
because
so
he
weird.
wants to know what you're doing, and he sits next to you, and he stares at whatever you're doing. And so when I read that, I was like,
he's your Patronus. That is so cool.
Crazy.
I love that.
It blew my mind.
That is amazing. You're already like giving me the vibe that you're quite immersed in the world of Harry Potter, like physically, which
Yes.
I love. Do you have any like props or anything?
I do. I was going to try and bring my sword of Gryffindor today, but I was really worried about the security. I was like, is there a metal detector I have to go? Like, I didn't know. So it's like, maybe I don't come with a sword, but I did bring technically a weapon. I brought my wand that I got at the studio tour, and I thought it was very appropriate today because it's a Thestral wand.
It's a Thestral wand. I've never ever seen a Thestral wand before.
I hadn't either, so when I saw it, I was like,
I have to have this.
this will be mine.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. It really suits the outfit as well.
I was worried about picking my wand for today because I have
How many wands do you have?
quite a few.
Great. Good for you, because
Quite
one
a
for
few.
every occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
You gotta go with your vibe.
If any of you want to try the Patronus experience or find out what your wand is, then head to harrypotter.com for the whole experience. Do you remember the first time where you thought, oh God, Harry Potter's going to be a massive thing for me?
I knew from that first movie. I was like, this is going to be my entire personality for the rest of my life.
And has it been?
It really has been. So, yeah.
What did you love so much about like being immersed in that world from the very beginning?
I love magic. Sword and sorcery has always been my favorite kind of fantasy. So it was just, but this was the first time I think I experienced sword and sorcery in not a fairy tale way where it's so set back in time or it was in a medieval time. This was in the modern world.
Yeah.
My owl could be coming with my letter any day. And so I was like, just so ready for that to happen. I think one of the things that I've just always loved about it is it's always just felt, despite it being so fantastical, it feels so real.
Yeah.
It's just one step away from your doorstep.
It literally is. It's like a layer.
Yeah.
It's like an onion peeled back and you're
I'm like,
there.
it's there. I know it's there. Just
Yeah.
because I can't see it, I know it's there and I will find it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will find it.
We'll get there.
Also, I feel like the beginning of the Order of the Phoenix is kind of a perfect example of that, because we're back in the Muggle world and we know that magic is like one step away and there are just Muggles going about their lives, and yet there is this like hint of darkness that's creeping in, and it's just starting to sort of, I don't know, impact regular people as well.
Yeah, especially in that opening scene when, you know, Harry pulls his wand on Dudley and all the other kids are laughing. And Dudley's like, just like, they're like, he's got a stick. And Dudley's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, I've messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start then, because this film opens on Little Whinging in the middle of a really brutal heat wave, and Harry Potter is having a very bad summer. Harry's sitting alone in the playground, having not heard from his friends in weeks, looking completely miserable, which, given that he's having nightmares about Cedric Diggory and Voldemort, feels pretty justified. Dudley and his gang choose this exact moment to show up looking for trouble. Harry loses his temper and pulls out his wand to scare Big D off. Before Dudley can retaliate, something far worse arrives. The temperature plummets, the sky darkens, and 2 Dementors descend on Harry and Dudley. Harry does the only thing he can do: Expecto Patronum. Harry's Patronus drives the Dementors away, saving them both, but leaving Dudley a little bit traumatized. And just when Harry thinks things can't get any more strange, Mrs. Fig appears, the Dursleys' slightly odd neighbour, who it turns out is a squib who's been secretly watching over Harry for years at Dumbledore's request. What do you think about that reveal? Because it blew my mind.
She was so cute, though, the way she just like paddles up and she's like, don't put away your wand, Harry.
She's really sweet in this film, isn't she?
So sweet. You're just like, this little lady, like, where you been? Why didn't we know? She's so cute. But it does make sense when she does say to Harry, you know, you didn't think Dumbledore would just leave you unattended, right? You're just kind of like, it's a good point.
It is a good point, but also Dumbledore does so many questionable things throughout the whole Harry Potter series.
Especially in this movie.
Yes, especially in this film. But I do, Catherine Hunter as Mrs. Fig, I just think, because she's like a proper, like a Shakespearean actor. She's so great on stage. She's played like the witches and Macbeth. Like she's just very cool character actor. And just as soon as I saw her, I was like, of course she's Arabella Fig.
She's
like
so
she just has the voice down and like the sort of, because in the book she's very much described as a mad cat lady. Like, we're obviously going to come on to cat ladies later.
Yes.
If we're going to have 2 mad cat ladies, I want to be in Mrs. Fig's camp.
Yes.
Firmly. What do you think about Dudley's costume in this?
What's with the chain? Like, what happened? I don't know when he became like, he's just like, you know, he's got like the shorts and
They're
the
like
chain.
G-unit shorts.
Yeah, like, it's hilarious. All I could think about, though, is that because Harry always gets Dudley's hand-me-down clothes, is like, is he going to be wearing that later? Like, are we going to be in the next year? Is that what Harry's going to be wearing?
Can you imagine Dan Radcliffe like wearing those shorts?
Just like down to his ankles.
It's also like such a great visual transition from like really light, like the really scorched earth, it's all really bright, to suddenly this really dark, like all the clouds roll in. The whole point of the Order of the Phoenix is we're really feeling the darkness creeping in from everywhere.
This is the first time I think that the danger didn't feel whimsical at all in the opening of this. In the first 4 movies, danger still feels kind of fantastical in a way. You kind of feel like you're on a quest and you're overcoming it. This Dementor attack just felt dark.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't happen at Hogwarts or within the wizarding world. So it's kind of, to your point earlier, it's kind of breaking that veil between the wizarding world and the Muggle world, where it's all of a sudden the wizarding danger is here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Great use of breaking the veil as well, considering the film that we're in. Back at Privet Drive, the drama continues. The Ministry of Magic has detected Harry using underage magic in front of a Muggle, which is a big no-no. A letter arrives announcing that Harry has been expelled from Hogwarts. And hilariously, it's a magical letter in front of the same Muggle that Harry's accused of doing magic in front of. I mean...
Also, does it not count at all that the Dursleys know of the wizarding world? Like, I know it's in front of a Muggle. Underage magic, sure, we got that. He did the underage magic. But in front of a Muggle, isn't it like a cool Muggle, like you're in kind of thing?
I guess it's the Ministry is just going to find every single issue they have and throw it at Harry, whether or not it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right?
I feel like that was so unfair.
I know, poor Harry, but he's not going to go down without a fight, don't worry. So are you ready for the rebellion to begin?
I'm ready.
So ready.
I'm in the DA.
Let's do this.
As a clear violation of the decree for the reasonable restriction of underage sorcery, you are hereby expelled from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hoping you are well, Mafalda Hopkirk.
Justice.
After Vernon takes a moment to gloat that justice has been served, he looks so iconic in his socks and sandals as well, Harry is left alone, miserable, and increasingly convinced that the wizarding world has completely abandoned him. Until late that night, the advance guard arrives. Mad-Eye, Tonks, Kingsley, and several other members of the Order of the Phoenix swoop Harry out of Privet Drive and escort him through the night skies over London. And I think for me, this scene where Harry's just kind of like alone in his room before they turn up is like the first time that we see him as like a man and not a boy.
Yeah, and he looked so down and so sad, and you really just feel for him. But he's still locked in that childhood bedroom at the same time.
Yes.
And you just start getting the feeling that he's getting a little bit too big for that space. I mean, he always kind of was, being who he is and magical.
There is this great set piece as well, flying over London. And like, you know, for someone from the US, what does that kind of give you for this movie?
London is so enchanting to people from the US, I think. And then Harry Potter made it all the more so because you just really do feel, I think for people from London, you're probably like, this is what streets look like. This is what a city looks like. But for me, I'm like, this is what a city in Harry Potter looks like. You know, behind any corner, there could be a phone booth that leads to the ministry, which I know we'll talk about, but it's just every little ordinary thing looks extraordinary to us. So, and it's very beautiful, and it's this freeing moment too for Harry because he's finally getting away from the Dursleys once again. He's kind of always having to escape there.
Yes, that's true. But it's obviously London. We see the landmarks in London all the time in so many movies, but there is just something so specific about seeing it on a broom for some reason. And I really love the route that they take. And it's just like, I'm from London. I live there. I see these landmarks all the time. And it still feels really special seeing it in this way. The group arrives at number 12 Grimmauld Place as the gloomy townhouse magically emerges from between two ordinary buildings. It's the Black family home, which is now headquarters for the secret society, the Order of the Phoenix. Inside, Harry is reunited with Ron and Hermione, though he's not exactly thrilled to see them. Harry feels like he's been completely left in the dark, understandably. He also meets Kreacher, the Black family's deeply unpleasant house elf, who appears to have inherited all of the worst personality traits of wizarding aristocracy. Downstairs, the adults of the Order are discussing something very serious. So obviously the teenagers attempt to spy on them using Fred and George's extendable ears, because if there's one thing that Hogwarts students excel at, it's eavesdropping. I love that we're seeing more of Fred and George's inventions.
Yep.
The Weasleys, wizard, wheezers.
Say that 5 times
So yeah,
fast.
wizards. Yeah, I love them.
It's so fun.
And what is your first impression of Grimmauld Place?
It's so cool the way it emerges between the buildings, but it also, even on the inside, it's very different than the tent at the Quidditch World Cup, where it kind of looks small from the outside, but you go in and it's really expansive. Grimmauld Place kind of looks the same on the inside that it looks on the outside, where you come in and everything's very contorted. It looks like a building that's trying to fit between other buildings.
Yes.
It's like really tall and skinny and creepy and narrow, and you feel a little claustrophobic, funhousey going through it.
Everything is so dingy and cobwebby and dusty, and that, as you say, adds to the claustrophobia of the place.
You get the idea that it would have at one point be very elegant.
Yes.
But still like austere.
Yeah.
In a way. Like this was never a warm home.
So eventually Sirius explains everything that's going on. The Ministry refuses to believe that Voldemort has returned. Fudge is terrified of the political consequences, so he's begun smearing anyone who says otherwise, including Harry and Dumbledore. Meanwhile, Voldemort has secretly been rebuilding his army, and worse still, he's searching for something that he didn't have the last time he tried to take power. What could that be? Later, and absolutely thrilled to be on the underground, Arthur Weasley escorts Harry to the Ministry for a disciplinary hearing about his Patronus incident. They descend through the Ministry's visitor entrance, that bright red telephone box that transforms into an elevator, down into the enormous wizarding government complex. Inside, it's rush hour at the Ministry. Wizards heading to work, enchanted paper aeroplanes flying between departments, and an atmosphere that feels both impressive and also maybe a little bit hostile. I really love like the little moments of levity that we get throughout the Order of the Phoenix, and Arthur Weasley on the underground is one of my favourites.
He is so charming. For someone who should know everything about muggles.
Right?
Right? Because that's his
Literally
thing.
his job. Literally his job.
No idea how to work the tube.
No.
And when he finally, or Harry, I guess, scans his pass,
His oyster, yeah.
him going backwards through it was the most hilarious thing.
Because Mark
Every time.
Williams, the actor, is like he used to be on a show called The Fast Show, which is a sketch comedy show. So, and it make that, like, knowing that now makes complete sense, right? The way that he's
so funny.
He's so good at physical comedy. What do you think about the Ministry? It's so exciting being inside like another very magical wizarding building.
Yep. I think the Ministry is really fun because we kind of go back to the whimsicality again with this. For example, all the letters being sent by paper plane. And Arthur Weasley goes, it used to be owls, but like the mess. And you're just like, oh. And those are some of my favorite things about Harry Potter in general, is those moments where something is almost overly explained and overly mundane because it just grounds it in so much realism where you really think about it. And all of a sudden you're like, this isn't a facade of world building. You're like, I can open every door and window.
Yes.
And there's something behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels so real. And like all of a sudden you're imagining the entire Ministry just covered in bird poop.
Because we've seen the owlery.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we know that it is covered in bird poo.
Yes.
What's so immersive about the Ministry in particular is that like it's a real practical set. So you are walking onto this set as much as Harry is for the first time. And I think that's what's so great about these films is like when Harry in The Goblet of Fire was like, I love magic.
Yeah.
And we're all experiencing that with him together. We're all kind of walking in, what does the wizarding government look like? Oh, they look like this. We are finding out. And it's so different from ours.
And I think the design of it is it's so incredible because it's, once again, just so realistic when you actually think about it. They talked about, I think Stuart Craig, the production designer, talked about how when they were trying to think like, what would this look like that exists in this underground, in this almost sewer system? And they went to the oldest tube station in London and noticed all the ceramic tile. And even though it was pretty, it was also functional because it didn't absorb moisture. It was non-porous. So that's how they actually built the Ministry, just in wizard colors. So there's always this like duality of things where it's like, here's the wizarding skin of it, but here's also just the realistic, like what would people in this situation do? What material would they build something out of?
But then you have like the green flashes of the flu. Fires.
So fun.
And it's that again just like looks so great, like the contrast of the green. And but it's also, we associate that kind of green with horror and evil and like it's we kind of, I think when you just see like a little flame in the Weasley's house, fine. When you see it en masse, I think it immediately gives you a bit of fear, which is interesting. So Harry sits alone in the courtroom, but Dumbledore arrives just in time to defend him. Luckily, he got there 3 hours early. When Harry's questioned by the Minister of Magic himself about his Dementor experience, Dumbledore calmly calls our hero, Mrs. Fig, as witness. One of the Ministry officials, the sickly sweet and seriously sinister Dolores Umbridge, gives her first of the film and questions whether Harry really encountered Dementors at all. After a tense vote, Harry is cleared of all charges, but it exposes something very unsettling. The Ministry would rather punish Harry than admit Voldemort is back. And this is our introduction to Imelda Staunton as Dolores Umbridge. Is this like one of the best like villain reveals of all time?
I mean, I think Umbridge might be the best villain in the franchise. Yeah. Personally,
I agree.
Even, I like love Voldemort, but boy, is she hateable. Like, that is just, wow, incredible. And played so delicately on that line of you can't exactly pinpoint when you figure out she's truly evil. You don't know exactly what it is because she's being nice.
Because also she could just be like a Ministry stooge. Like she just is, maybe she just loves fudge and she just wants to like get ahead at work and maybe she's just trying to like stand out. And then obviously as the film goes on, you're like, oh my goodness, this runs deep. Like the evil runs deep. And the fact that she's not a Death Eater.
No, it's not even so that important. Kind of evil.
Yeah.
She's just pure selfish evil.
She's like megalomaniacal, right? Like she is so power hungry for both for both Fudge and herself.
Yes.
It's also the first time that we're really seeing the introduction of like the political thriller aspect of the Order of the Phoenix come in. Again, like with the government, but also with the two sides. I guess we're kind of seeing little implants like Kingsley, for example, in the lift. We know that he is part of the Order, but he's also part of the Ministry, like Arthur. And we're kind of getting this idea of spies everywhere. Who is good? Who can we trust? Who is not?
Yep.
Which I love. So Harry tries to catch Dumbledore before he leaves the Ministry, but strangely the headmaster ignores him. So Harry heads to King's Cross to catch the Hogwarts Express. While waiting for the train, Sirius appears as Padfoot to secretly see Harry off, giving him a photograph of the original Order of the Phoenix. And in the image, Harry's parents, Neville's parents, and others who fought in the last war, many of whom didn't survive. What I love about this film in particular is we continue to see the strength of Harry and Sirius's relationship. And I'm so devastated for Harry, of course, but also I'm so glad that he gets to know what it's like to have this sort of mentor, even for a short time.
Yeah, even that moment when they're still at Grimmauld Place, when Harry's like, then I want to fight. And Sirius kind of gives him that like approving nod, that approving look. Yeah. And you're just, and you see like Harry swell with pride. And then he knows Sirius shouldn't be at King's Cross, but I think he also just has that feeling of, you know, Sirius is like, well, I had to see you off. And you're just, someone showed up for this boy. Especially the contrast of just watching Dumbledore completely blow him off.
Yeah.
Who is kind of prior to Sirius coming back, is Dumbledore is like, we're thinking that's the father figure when he's really not.
And why does he just lets Harry down so badly here?
I get so mad about this. Like, listen, I know Dumbledore has always got his own plans going on, but did he have to be so cold? Yeah. He just showed up and defended him at trial. Everyone knows he's on Harry's side. So couldn't he have just been like, we'll talk at Hogwarts? Yes. Like a little something. Yeah. He's a boy.
Yeah.
And he's been through so much. Yeah. He just watched Cedric die, and he made his friends isolate him, and you're just like
what's happened this summer? Like Dumbledore was giving him like a lot of love at the end of the last film. He was like being really understanding.
Couldn't he just give him a, hey, by the way, we need to lay low?
Yes.
Can't give him one little nudge?
We're not going to have a relationship this year, FYI. That's all you need to say. So back at Hogwarts, things do feel different. Even the theme tune like holds some kind of tentative fear. Harry meets the wonderfully eccentric Luna Lovegood, who introduces him to the eerie skeletal horses pulling the school carriages. Thestrals. Yep. Like the wand. Turns out the horses' carriages were never actually pulling themselves. So we meet Luna Lovegood.
Yes.
What do you think about Evanna Lynch's performance in this?
I love her. And I don't even know if you could call it a performance because when you hear about how she was cast, they started by auditioning thousands of Lunas. Evanna Lynch shows up and they just go,
oh, it's her.
That's Luna. She is Luna.
I also really love the Thestrals in this. Like we do, like the design of the Thestrals, I think they are some of the most interesting, intricate designs of any magical creature that we see.
They're both kind of creepy and scary and a little bit intimidating, but they're still very ethereal and beautiful.
And majestic.
Yeah, and it makes sense then when you hear that only people who have seen death can see them because they just do kind of look like creatures of death, but in a very elegant way.
Also, we see Luna reading the Quibbler.
Yes.
So shout out to Mina Lima, who are the incredible designers of not just the Quibbler, but also so many, like everything going forward now.
They're amazing.
They are. So inside the Great Hall, the welcome feast is underway. Hagrid is mysteriously on leave, and Dumbledore announces the arrival of a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. There's always a new one, isn't there?
Every year.
Dolores Umbridge, sent by the Ministry itself. Her forced and painfully cheerful speech about order and progress is so ominous. The Ministry is interfering at Hogwarts, and things are about to get much, much worse. Back in the Gryffindor common room, Harry's housemates aren't exactly happy to see him. I know you have thoughts about this. Many of them, especially Seamus, believe the propaganda spread about him by the Daily Prophet. Ron comes to Harry's defense, but why doesn't the rest of Gryffindor? This scene, it makes me so cross, but it's... There are so many moments where Gryffindor just like turns on Harry. Yeah. And we see it so clearly here. And it makes me so frustrated because they know him.
I know. And it's also really frustrating too because it's deja vu from Goblet of Fire, where Ron didn't believe Harry for putting his name in the cup, and then he kind of wakes up and goes, oh, wait, like, that's my best friend, and he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And everyone sees how dangerous this whole situation is. And then meanwhile, everyone's kind of forgotten about that and forgotten Cedric died and is like, no, Harry must have had something to do with it. And then Seamus is like, my mom. And Harry just straight up goes, well, your mom's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just like, whoa. Like,
sassy Harry. So with his classmates turned against him, Harry continues to retreat into himself, isolation that is not helped by the fact that he's still being plagued by horrible Voldemort-related nightmares. During the day, things aren't any better. The students now in 5th year are preparing for their OWLs, their ordinary wizarding level exams, and the pressure is on. Umbridge's DADA class consists entirely of reading textbooks and discussing theory with no practical magic allowed. When Harry points out that Voldemort is back and students should probably learn how to defend themselves, Umbridge gives him detention. It feels very 1984. In her putridly pink cat-filled office, detention with Umbridge is uniquely horrifying. Harry's made to write the words, I must not tell lies, repeatedly, using a magical quill that carves the sentence into the back of his hand, using his own blood as ink. So dystopian. The message is clear. Don't trust anyone who takes sugar in their tea or who likes cats.
yeah.
Sorry.
Cats that much, maybe. Listen, I love a cat, but takes you to a new place. You got a lot of cats on that wall. You just get this weird juxtaposition of the bare bones classroom and then her like really hot pink office. And it just makes it feel so creepy and sinister. I never thought old lady could feel so like deeply disturbing. And my favorite thing is all the cats on the plates. They actually spent 2 days filming all of those cats in different outfits.
Wait, what?
So they, for 2 days straight, just brought in 40 cats and filmed them. And some of them had little like handmade outfits and everything to make all of those plates. There's so many things in Harry Potter that they actually spent so much time going into a detail that we just don't even fixate on ourselves. And it's just all of those layers are there. It's just every time you open a door to any cupboard in that movie, it's just, there's so much depth in it.
So later in the common room, Harry, Ron and Hermione begin to properly reckon with what's happening under Umbridge's rule. The Ministry is tightening its grip on the school. It's no longer just irritating, it's actually getting dangerous. Harry pushes Ron and Hermione's offers of support away and turns inward again. And in his isolation, he finds himself in this really lovely, quiet moment with Luna in the forest, who he finds barefoot, talking to Thestrals and offering up the unsettling truth that Voldemort would want Harry to be isolated.
Yeah.
It is such an amazing scene for Daniel Radcliffe and Evanna Lynch. Why do you think he can open up to Luna?
Luna's an outsider like him, and she's also kind of a lone wolf. And I think Harry, for as much as he's close with Ron and Hermione, and even though they're with him every step of the way, they still will never experience what he's experienced and be in his shoes. I do also think he's holding a bit of resentment for the summer. This is why I'm so mad at Dumbledore, though, because Luna points it out beautifully. Like, if I were Voldemort, I would want to separate you.
There is this weird kind of thing which, if you look really closely, you might be able to see it, but they had to make Evanna Lynch wear fake feet for this because obviously she would be so cold barefoot in the forest, so they made her like naked feet
really good
shoes.
ones.
They are really good, like you can't really see them. Maybe if you like pause the movie and like zoom in.
Costuming is so amazing.
It is. And but also it just adds, because she talks about how her shoes are always being stolen. She's being bullied, and the fact that they're calling her Loony, like Hermione even calls her Luna Lovegood. Why do you think that the students don't take to Luna in the same way? Why do you think she is such a lone wolf?
Luna's like, this is me. I am me, and I've always been me, and I will never change. She's so consistent throughout the rest of the films. She just is who she is.
And the fact that she speaks the truth. She's in touch with what Harry's feeling more than anybody else. And what we were just saying about having worlds that are like a layer away. There's the Muggle world, there's this world, and then there is like the realm of the undead. And it feels like she is maybe a bit more in contact with that more than anybody else.
And with magical creatures in general, too.
And in that sense, she's quite like Hagrid.
Yeah, she really is.
There's this great match cut between a Thestral chowing down on a steak and a sausage gobbling Ron back in the Great Hall. And Harry rejoins Ron and Hermione, who welcome him back with open arms.
Yeah.
McGonagall and Umbridge clash in front of the students, making it clear that questioning Umbridge now means questioning the Ministry itself. She increasingly continues to wield Ministry influence and is eventually appointed self-appointed High Inquisitor, giving her unchecked power to inspect teachers and reshape the entire school. Umbridge interrogates professors, torments students, and even attempts to get Trelawney kicked out of Hogwarts. David Yates makes such good use of montages in this movie, and we've just come to like one of my favorite ones because you have, obviously, like, it is supposed to be really dark and we're kind of seeing a lot of like nasty changes coming in. We get such great funny moments, like just generally Filch throughout
icon.
in this, but also Snape's obviously. Can you do a Snape? Obviously, I can't do it.
He's so mad. He's so tilted.
Why do you think it's so important that we do get moments of humour throughout the kind of darker political tone of Order of the Phoenix?
It's still a transition from the first few movies. So I think if it went fully dark so quickly, it'd be like, we would also feel like we're in two different places.
Yeah.
You still want some of that whimsicality. We're still at a wizarding school. It's still amazing. And it's still fun. And Fred and George do a great job of that later too, of just being like, we gotta comedic relief this.
Yes.
That's our job.
Yeah.
And also the montages are so great too, because this is the biggest book and we're putting it into the shortest runtime movie. So David Yates is like, how am I going to put all of this information that is somewhat necessary and really show the progression of Umbridge seizing control of Hogwarts and fit that kind of just into a neat little box.
The atmosphere at Hogwarts grows more and more oppressive by the day, but Harry, Ron and Hermione refuse to sit back and accept Umbridge's new regime. Sirius shows up in the common room fireplace again, this time to warn them that Fudge, still denying that Voldemort is back, instead believes that Dumbledore is secretly building an army to take control of the Ministry. Paranoid much? Sirius ominously warns Harry, you're on your own. Just what every kid wants to hear.
Yeah.
This naturally gives Hermione an idea. If the Ministry won't teach them how to defend themselves against the return of the Dark Lord, they'll simply do it themselves. Big Hermione energy. She really loves breaking the rules.
Yeah, she does. A little rebel.
And so the group of students secretly gather in the Hog's Head pub, where Harry reluctantly agrees to help train them all in real defensive magic. And with that, Dumbledore's army is born, which is just such a highlight of the film. I have socks with all of their signatures on.
That's so cute. I love that.
It's also the first time that Hermione says Voldemort.
Yes.
Which is
So brave.
cute. So brave girl.
She's so brave. She like really Voldemort. She's like really like, I've got it.
It's kind of exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, love that moment. It's like, and that's when you realize like, oh, that's why she's a Gryffindor and not a Ravenclaw.
Why is this such a huge turning point, do you think, in the film?
This is the first moment where we finally see Harry being accepted again by his peers, besides just, Ron and Hermione. And once again, unsung hero of the film, where I feel like Neville is often an unsung hero. Luna is an unsung hero here because she's sitting there and everyone's kind of like, why should we believe you? Even Harry's like, why should you believe me? Like, he's not even really bought into this. And then Luna's just like, is it true you can make a Patronus?
Yeah.
Produce a Patronus charm? And Harry's like, yeah. And then everyone starts rattling off his good deeds, kind of like piling on that.
I love that.
So sweet. But she does it in it's such a skillful thing that she did. She didn't stand up and go, hey, everybody, Harry should do this, or Harry can do this and we should follow him. She asks a question that forces everyone's opinion to change.
I also love that we see the Hufflepuffs and the Ravenclaws alongside the Gryffindors, because we don't really see many of the Ravenclaws very often, apart from Luna. The DA has one minor problem. They need a place to practice. Luckily, Neville stumbles upon the most useful room in the entire castle, the Room of Requirement, which I think is my favourite piece of magic in all 8 films. There, Harry begins leading practice sessions while Umbridge gains an eager henchman in Filch and recruits Draco Malfoy and friends into an inquisitorial squad to help enforce her rules. That bit where, like, Filch is lining up next to Draco to get his badge pinned onto his chest.
Very proud.
Chef's kiss. The students practice constantly and quickly master spells like Expelliarmus, Stupefy, and, of course, Expecto Patronum. Neville gains confidence, which is genuinely lovely to watch. Hermione is excellent straight away because, of course, she is.
Yep.
And Ron is there. Ron is present.
Ron's there.
He's doing his best. We support you. Come on, Ron.
The best is when he says that he'll go easy on Hermione. And Hermione's like, okay.
When has this ever been a thing?
Yeah.
When have you ever been better than me?
Right.
Shout out to the spell, I think it's Diminuendo, that I think Nigel maybe does, and it turns like the practice mannequins like really tiny. I was like, I wish they'd use that on the Death Eaters. Can you imagine tiny little Death Eaters just like running around the halls of prophecy?
With their tiny little spells.
We also see Ginny's Reducto curse here. Ginny is really coming into her own here.
Yep.
In the past, we've seen like these little glimpses of her kind of surrounded by her siblings. I love it in the Goblet of Fire when she's like, that is ghastly, talking about like the dress robes.
The dress robes.
Like we're seeing a bit of sassy Ginny, but this is the first time we see how powerful a witch she is.
Yep.
Her Reducto curse is legendary.
And also growing up in a house of all of those siblings and all of them boys must be really hard to make your own way and kind of have your own moment.
Yeah, that's so true. And also your fave, Neville, like, he really does come into his own here. And, you know, when he does his Expelliarmus charm and all of the students are like, oh, Neville, and they all like rush to him and they're so proud of him and they're so pleased for him.
And it's a good moment of seeing all the students kind of come back around where in the beginning they were all divided and fear-mongering and kind of angry at each other, and now they're celebrating each other again and working together.
The Christmas break arrives and the students pause training to enjoy their holidays, but Harry's life becomes no less complicated, particularly when it comes to his feelings for Cho Chang. An emotional, mistletoe-fueled kiss, great wing-manning, room of requirement, leaves Cho in tears and Harry feeling all the feels. Ron and Hermione break it down for him the only way they know how. Ending, of course, with Hermione reminding Ron that he has the emotional range of a teaspoon, which is genuinely a quote that I use so often.
Yes.
And for people who don't know Harry Potter, they always think that I'm just being really funny. And I'm like, I can't even take credit for this, but it's such a great line. That is the first half of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So what is your like favorite kind of standout moment or scene in the first half of this?
Oh boy, there's so many. I mean, I really do get very emotional when Neville casts Expelliarmus and he's like, I've never done it before. And you just have that moment and you're just like, oh, that's amazing. And then Arthur Weasley going backwards through the metro. Like it's so funny and it's so hilarious. Yeah, it's just like those are the moments that just like bring joy again back to these films, which had started very dark. So I love those moments.
All right, it's time to check the post. This is my favourite thing. An owl has arrived from a fellow Potter fan. This is a doozy. This is a burning question from Reed R. from California. Why did Fudge say that Dementors can't be seen by Muggles? Who said anything about Muggles seeing Dementors? That's not relevant. By the way, who cares if Muggles see anything? This is life and death here. Obliviate them and let's just get on with it. Also, he is a foul politician, a foul individual. Foul individual is in capital letters.
Oh, of course.
Foul individual.
Foul individual. I mean, yeah, let's go Reed. I'm like, why isn't Reed here? It's a great take.
He's so angry.
Wait, truly though, why not obliviate? Maybe they did that later, I don't know.
But why do they never obliviate the Dursleys? Like, I feel like Harry's life would just be a bit smoother if they didn't remember the whole Aunt Marge thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So true. Well, Harry can't do it though.
No, but why doesn't, like,
who?
The Ministry?
I don't know. Well, they don't care about Harry's life, clearly.
Evidently.
Yeah.
What about, like, Fudge being a foul politician? He is.
He's just kind of a coward.
He's a coward and he just wants to keep hold of the power.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to lose his position as minister.
He's really driven by fear, and I think that just makes him a really bad politician.
Yeah. We want to hear from you. Keep an eye on our socials at Harry Potter for your chance to send in your favourite moments, your burning questions, and all of your hottest takes. So the midpoint of the Order of the Phoenix is punctuated by that great montage where Dumbledore's army is formed and the students begin to train. And we are required to discuss how the film shifts between comedy, rebellion, these really stirring emotional moments to balance and drive the story. So how do you think jumping between the DA's progress and Umbridge's increasing control helps to build momentum and make those stakes even higher?
It is a nice breather for a moment because it's so harsh when she has Harry use the pen or the quill with his own blood. It's so harsh and so dark so fast. So then we do get this moment for a second where we've kind of gone back to the stakes feel a little bit more whimsical for a moment. You know, we're practicing spells with our friends and like surely the good times will last, right? No way,
right?
They can be disrupted, and they're kind of besting Filch and Draco and Crabbe and Goyle. And it's this great moment because you really start seeing the dynamics between the students again. You have kind of Cho getting distracted by Harry and dropping Nigel on the floor. And
poor Nigel.
Yeah, he just goes right down. And you have Ginny kind of casting, a really powerful spell for the first time. You have Neville succeed. Like, you just have all these little moments of them succeeding. And then Filch and his little squad failing. And it's just a great lighthearted moment, but even though the stakes are increasing, you kind of feel, like we're back to fun stakes for a moment.
Fun stakes. How do you think that we're kind of playing into that whole political thriller side of this in the way that we see like the duality of the school? Because we are really split between like the students and the teachers, and who is Team Umbridge, who is Team Harry, I guess, Dumbledore.
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah, like how is that kind of played out through this particular montage?
I mean, it's really what they're doing is learning spells that they do plan to use at some point, and you're becoming increasingly aware on why they might end up needing these skills. You kind of get the idea that this Hogwarts is just a mirror of what's happening in the wizarding world overall. It's like Umbridge does represent the ministry, and Hogwarts represents the wizarding population at that moment.
Yeah, that rebellion, that whole idea of they are doing something to not only further their own education, but also they're battling against pure
oppression.
Evil. Yeah, oppression, exactly. Talking about all of like the student dynamics, it's the first time in this film that we see Harry truly galvanized.
Yeah.
Like, he is no longer alone. Like, it's not just that they're on his side, but he feels like he's being useful. And I think that's the thing that really kind of drives him. It's like a way of feeling close to his parents as well. If he's not technically allowed to join the order, he's going to make his own order.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so cool. I love that we see Harry like finally stepping outside of his like real self-inflicted isolation.
Yes.
And finally being like, okay, I found my calling again. I found my mojo.
Those wishing to join the Inquisitorial Squad for extra credit may sign up in the High Inquisitor's office.
Working hard is important, but there's something that matters even more. Believing in yourself. Think of it this way. Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now. Students. If they can do it, why not us?
In this film, we're introduced to a whole host of, I think, really quite stylish characters.
Yes.
We have Kingsley Shacklebolt. We have Dolores Umbridge. Maybe not stylish, but definitely iconic.
Styled.
Yes,
sure.
Styled. And Bellatrix Lestrange. We haven't quite had a chance to discuss all of the costuming throughout our Look Back series. So let's just take a minute to just gush. Do you have like a favourite outfit from any of the films?
Ooh. I mean, I love Bellatrix. I love her style. I love overall the storytelling that they did with costuming in this film in particular. There were so many subtle things that were happening in the costuming that you might not even realize.
Well, luckily for us, I had the opportunity to sit down with costume designer Jany Temime. So let's see what she had to say. Jany Temime, welcome to Harry Potter, the official film podcast. It's such a thrill to have you with us.
Thank you.
So you joined the series on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is kind of a massive tonal shift from the first two films. So when you came in, what did you most want to sort of change or influence about how this world looked and felt through the costume?
Well, when I joined, I had a talk with Alfonso Cuarón. We decided that if the film was going to be a teenager film, the kids should look different. They should really look like normal kids. Each one of them should have a look, depending on their personality, their social class, where they were coming from, and in a way that other children watching it could identify. And that's what we did quite successfully, because the response were incredible.
How did like Dan and Emma and Rupert get involved in the sort of decision making around their wardrobe? Were they able to have a bit of a say?
Well, at the beginning, I could do what I wanted because they were young enough. But after the, let's say, 2-3 films where they were starting being like 16 years old, the girls were much more involved in what they were wearing than the boys. The boys, I could still keep quiet for a while. And then after that, they start saying, no, I'm not looking good enough. It's not cool. The one who was always adorable, and although he was looking terrible, he had terrible clothes. Ron, I was feeling sorry. I was feeling sorry when I gave him that gown, for the ball.
The dress
and all
robes,
the boys
yeah.
were looking so elegant in black and white, and they were looking at each other and being so happy to be so elegantly dressed up. And Ron had that terrible gown with the frills, but he was always a very good sport and always accepted that it was for the part and wear it.
I mean, the Yule Ball, I think, for so many people is such an iconic sort of turning moment for all of the characters, because as you say, we are seeing them step into adolescence and we're seeing them in formal wear for the first time. So what was at the forefront of your mind when you were designing the outfits for I mean, Hermione is such a gorgeous pink dress, for example.
It was a very difficult design for Hermione dress because I had to do something romantic and in the same time very sweet 16. And it had to be also magical because, well, they are little wizards. So it was a very difficult design. But somehow it happened. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can spend hours, days on a design and it doesn't come through. And that one, the minute that I had decided that it was a change of colors, that it was going from pink to purple, that was the magical side of it. I thought about the floating, because again, she's an apparition, so it should be a little bit floating. Then putting those elements together, I had the dress. So, it worked.
When we kind of get to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the world feels like more controlled, more authoritarian. Did you approach that film with a different design philosophy from the very beginning? And how did David Yates talk to you about how to approach it?
It was a normal evolution. Because the script was darker, the costume went darker. We had decided that the film should be dark and the only light will come from Umbridge. Umbridge is in pink, where everything else is sort of brownish, grayish, and the photography is remarkable.
Yeah.
Great lighting cameraman. And, all the details were really shown in the light. It was beautiful. And the fact that the light is coming from that really bad and sadistic person, it sort of shows that the world is lied by the baddies. And it's very symbolic. And that's how we did it. And I thought, I want to have a progression in Umbridge clothes. I start with something light, and then little by little it's going to be a stronger and a hard pink. We are going to feel the venom of this woman going through the color of her clothes, and the last costume is really like a very violent fuchsia pink.
I'd love to talk about Sirius Black, because he is living in this sort of in-between place. He's supposed to be a bit of a mentor. He's a parent. He's an older brother, but he's also been locked up for years. He kind of hasn't really had a chance to go shopping. So how do you approach his look in a way that reflects his personality?
When you have Gary Oldman, I remember the first costume I designed for him was the prisoner costume.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I'm so happy that I don't have to have a magical thing with a pointed head to play that character. And then after that, he's at home. And then I think that you really like the very aristocratic approach of the part because the house is very beautiful. And I think he wanted to make a contrast with his first costume, which is the prisoner costume. And when he's at home, he's really a gentleman. So we had all those velour jackets, this beautiful long velour dressing gown. Yeah, we had him like a dandy.
I'd also love to talk about Bellatrix because she is so brilliantly chaotic. She's kind of, you don't know whether she's wearing rags, whether she's wearing silk, how into fashion she is, or how much is just thrown on. It's such a fascinating style. So tell me about Bellatrix and working with Helena Bonham Carter.
She's wearing the most expensive rags in the world because, first you have to remember that the cast we had is exceptional. We had the best actors that England could give. I had a dress for her because I thought, okay, she's a fighter. She needs to have, a warrior, something. But in the same time, she is somebody who belongs to the aristocracy of the wizard world. So I wanted something slightly medieval to give that old warrior look. So I started getting into the corset. And I thought, because we are in Harry Potter, let's make it a leather corset. Little by little, the costume arrived. And I wanted a costume which was like in pieces put together, like she could take off a sleeve or she could add a sleeve. And then the rest, it happened. She put a costume on and she started scratching it. And then suddenly the costume became alive. And that was her. And, she started pushing the hair like that and she became Bellatrix. And she had that power. I mean, it was just a pure acting job that I saw in front of me. It was brilliant.
And finally, sort of looking back across like all of the films, is there like a specific piece of costuming that you kind of hold particularly dear or particularly proud of, or one perhaps that was so unexpected in its reception from fans?
I love Luna and her dad. And I get so many questions about Luna and her clothes and what she wears. That girl had a quality which made her costume very easy. She was making herself all this jewelry, very jewelry with the radishes and the carrots and the thing. And then she brought them and I said, of course you're going to wear them. I mean, everybody wear a carrot around their ears. It's no problem, And she was really happy to be contributing to her costume. She did a mask, a lion mask, and helped with that. She was a very creative little girl, and her costume were very, very organic because of that kid, which was extraordinary.
Good old Ivana Lynch. Yeah, she is an amazing Luna.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Jany, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking about one of the best times of my life. It was so creative, so wonderful to work. I spent 10 years having the time of my life. It was great.
Are you ready for some trivia?
No, I'm so bad at trivia. You ask me my first name and I'll forget it. So, but
Chrissy, what is your first name?
Jeff. Okay, I'm ready.
What was the design of Harry's I Must Not Tell Lies inspired by? Was it A, papyrus font? Was it B, Mina Lima? Or was it C, Dan Radcliffe's own handwriting?
Didn't you say these were easy?
I did not say that.
Is it, I don't know, is it Dan Radcliffe's own handwriting?
It is Dan Radcliffe's own handwriting. I was going to say, it looks
like it, but now I'm like doubting everything.
Yeah, and I'm so glad it is because I always wonder about that. What challenge did the actors face when filming the first on-screen kiss between Harry and Cho? Was it A, it was filmed outdoors in the rain? Was it B, the room of requirement set smelled awful? Or was it C, Daniel fell ill, causing the scene to be postponed?
Daniel fell ill, causing the scene to be postponed.
Yeah, do you think he really was?
Yeah.
Do you think he was like,
I think
oh,
so.
No,
I think so because I don't think he would have wanted, I think there was so much hype building up to it. And then to postpone it makes it even more awkward. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Know,
it's
really
so
wholesome.
innocent. It is really wholesome.
Yeah.
What is Dumbledore's full name?
Oh, God, I always forget it. Albus Percival Wulfric Brian? Is that Brian Dumbledore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well done.
I know the names, but the order
is,
yeah.
Because he
but
says
then when he
it right at
shows
the
up
beginning.
in the ministry, yeah. But I love how he's like, Albus, like, and then he gets to Brian, he goes, Brian.
It's like a bit of sauce on Brian.
Yeah, he's like, Brian. Like, ooh. Yeah.
You can tell Gambon had a really good time with that. Hey, you said you weren't very good at trivia. You did so well.
Thank you.
You got them all right.
Well, like, with a little help.
You get all the points for Gryffindor. Well done.
Thank you.
If any of you out there want to try your hand at a bit of quizzing, then go to harrypotter.com/quiz to test your trivia knowledge. All right, it is time for anything from the trolley, dears. That was just for you.
Thank you.
I want like a burning question from you or a hot take or something, and then I'm going to give you a lovely sweet treat from the trolley.
Whew,
As
a
a
burning
reward.
question or a hot take?
Yes, please.
Okay. Cho Chang and Harry in the room of requirement. Cho, what are we doing? You're talking about your dead boyfriend and then kissing Harry.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Is that not normal?
No. Like, oh my God. It's been 5 minutes.
It's been a summer. That's
I
a really
think
long
that's
time in these kids' lives.
Crazy. That to me was like, and then when the room of requirement drops the mistletoe, I was like, no. Mm-mm.
But if the room of requirement is like helping them along, that
Oh.
means it's got to be the feelings are there.
Oh, no.
Wait, are you cross with Cho for moving on too quickly from Cedric?
I just feel like she's a little like flippy floppy.
I think that's okay. Hermione explains it so well. She's confused about her feelings. She's obviously still grieving, but she's also...
She's still grieving because she's like, do you think if he knew this stuff that he would have been fine? And poor Harry is like, I'm still in second to this guy who's dead.
He takes advantage of it though. Like,
No, but he's still like...
He doesn't mind.
He's like consoling her about her dead boyfriend and then they're kissing. I'm like, guys, this is weird.
You're so angry about this. Okay, you know what? You feel so passionately about it. I'm going to say yes. I'm too frightened not to. Have a sweet treat from the trolley. What are you choosing?
I'm going to do the
Fizzing Whizbees?
Fizzing Whizbees.
Yes.
I've never had these before.
So
I'm very excited about these.
look delicious.
Chocolatey fizzy fruits.
I think you've chosen very well.
Are you having something from the trolley?
I am, but I have to give you my hot take.
Oh.
So there's a theory that Dumbledore used a time turner to get to the ministry on time to make Harry's like appointment.
Interesting.
Because he says like, oh yeah,
Right.
I arrived 3 hours too early.
Mhm.
Why?
I think he just knew that they would pull some BS.
Yeah, that's probably like the real.
But I do like the idea of the time turner, but like as soon as he said that, I kind of just had the opinion that
He's like, I know you
knew-
guys. You're going to try and
Yeah.
screw over Harry.
Mhm.
I'm going to be there to stop you. That's my hot take.
I like it.
Thank you. I might also join you in the Fizzing Whispies. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, well, Trolley, Evanesco.
Be gone.
Well, we are halfway through the Order of the Phoenix, but the rebellion has only just begun. Next time, Chrissy and I continue on to the conclusion of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
I'm so excited. We've got a huge battle scene coming up to talk about. That is one of my favorite moments in all of the films.
Oh my God! We're going to have such fun. Join us on our film-by-film look back through the series and rewatch every Harry Potter film on HBO Max. And in the meantime, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts and keep up with the latest from us on social media at Harry Potter. As we make our way through the series, we're going to be checking the comments to dissect your burning questions and, of course, your hottest takes. Until then, watch out for Nagini and don't let anyone penetrate your mind. Bye!
See you next time.
It appears that there is a connection between the Dark Lord's mind and your own. Whether he is as yet aware of this connection is for the moment unclear. Pray he remains ignorant.
You mean if he knows about it, then he'll be able to read my mind?
Read it, control it, unhinge it.
Harry Potter, the official film podcast, is produced by HBO Max in partnership with Pod People. This podcast is hosted by me, Rhianna Dhillon. Our head writer and lead producer is Angela Palladino, and our associate producer is Emily Mansfield. Our line producer and production manager is Hannah Pedersen. Casting by Brianna Frapart. Production design done by Liz Klakowski and her team Kevin Fallon, Marcel Banks, Jeff Cross, and Emilia Caceres. Our technical director is In-Sung Huang, along with camera operator Nick Gregorio. Our studio audio engineer is Frank Galvan. Hair and makeup by Ali Elizabeth. Production assistance by Sam Sanders IV and Cameron Robson. Our video editor is Susanna Vasquez, and the show is mixed by Carter Wogan and Marina Pais. From the HBO Max podcast team, Alison Cohen-Sorokach, Michael Gluckstadt, Becky Rowe, Kenya Reyes, and Erin Kelly. Special thanks to Emily Brandon and Rhys Allgood from the Harry Potter digital team. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.